if the Facebook recognizes. And one sec. Okay, there we go. And now we're online. So it's so good. It's okay. It's September 24th, and it's my pleasure, my honor to receive here this great pianist and a person who I had the pleasure and the honor to meet and to play with, and a few times here in Brazil. It's my pleasure to receive here Theresa Bogard from the University of Wyoming. Welcome, Theresa.
Hi, it's so great to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been as I was telling you offline, it's been crazy but happy moments here every day. This is the meeting 188, and it's every day it's a great meeting. It's someone that I don't see a long time.
Yeah.
Even people who lives in the same town that I don't see, we don't meet each other in 6 months.
Right. I feel like we're all living in small bubbles, and it's hard to break out of your bubble.
Yeah, and due to the internet facilities, we're discovering that we can actually see each other and do something with. We wouldn't do much of that before the quarantine times.
Yeah. Imagine what it would have been like before video chat. If we had had COVID, it would have been really hard.
Wow, you know what? I'll think about what those people did during the Black
Yes.
during those other pandemonium moments that we had in the humanity.
Yes.
Where they didn't have any of the facilities we have today. A lot more people died.
Yeah, imagine the Spanish flu, how that must have been, so many millions of people dying.
Yeah, and in a certain way, we're lucky to live at this moment when we have so many resources. But it's, human being is still human being. They do stupid things. Go on the street, don't wear masks. Throw a party when you know you shouldn't. Some people don't believe in virus because of their religion or something.
Yes, we have exactly the same issues in the United States, right? The same kinds of problems. I'm curious how universities are handling in-class situations with students. Are you teaching all online? Are you teaching kind of a blended format, some online, some in person?
Different universities, they decided this in a different way. Here in Goiânia, we're remote classes. And we came back, we returned classes on 3 weeks ago. And the first semester for us, the semester had started in March, just a week or 10 days before the everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the university decided to suspend the semester because basically 50% of the students wouldn't be able to connect immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Because of economic reasons or mainly economic reasons. They wouldn't have access to internet. And then we had no idea how long the thing was going to be. It was lots of studies and stuff. And then finally, there were some programs to help the students who needed connection. And now we started 100% remote. A few exceptions are for some laboratories. There are some rules that just 1 or 2 people at a time for those type of research that cannot be 24 hours without being, without a person in there to take care of the equipment and stuff.
Right.
But in our case, in music, some of the some of the classes didn't come back. For instance, chamber music. We don't have chamber music this semester, or orchestra, choir. But most of the other classes are come back. There's instrument classes are being given through Zoom. And different universities decided differently. Like in São Paulo or Rio, they are in remote classes since April. They have other economic situation, and some started to do some things presential, depending on the state. Like United States, we are a huge country, and situation is very different in different places. But mainly, it's bad.
Yes, it's very bad here, as you know. So the University of Wyoming, we went completely online starting with March 20th and finished the semester, because for us, that was the middle of the semester. Yeah. So everybody just did the best that they could and moved all of their lessons on Zoom. So piano lessons on Zoom. Chamber music, I think, just kind of fell apart. The ensembles were just canceled. This semester, we were supposed to start with some online classes, like academic classes were online. Theory, these kind of things are all online. And then other classes have been a mix. But the university closed down because they did COVID testing for the entire population and found cases at the beginning. So they never opened, and we will open on September 28th completely. But still many classes will be online, or what we call high flex, where some students may be in the classroom and other students are on Zoom. So this is going to be the most complicated kind of teaching, because you're teaching some people in front of you and some people on Zoom.
And they're going to do a rotation, or?
Yes. And some students, if they don't feel comfortable attending in person, they will stay on Zoom the entire time. I'm planning on teaching my private piano lessons at the university face-to-face. I have a large studio, and I moved my pianos farther apart, and everybody has to wear a mask and use alcohol wipes and all of the regular stuff. So we will see how that goes starting next week with the first week.
I was talking to John Shimek, a bass professor from Oklahoma City University, and they decided to go on with to return with the instrument classes, but they divided the studio up to a certain height with a thick plastic, transparent plastic, in a way that the sound sort of go not directly but through the top part, but they don't have any direct contact with the, well, the air is not exactly the same. They have those those air filters, and they wear masks.
Yeah.
And they began like at the beginning of September or end of August, and I didn't hear anything bad about it. Bad things we know fast. So
yeah. So are people that have more risk of contamination, like singers, wind players, they are teaching in large spaces. So we're now using our concert hall to teach for people like that. So voice faculty are all teaching in our concert hall, which holds 700 people. So, and the singers still have to wear a face shield that covers the entire face. So that's how we're doing it. We've moved everything out of smaller spaces into the largest spaces we have. So we'll see if it works when we start on Monday. So this will be our 6th week of class, and we're finally going back to some face-to-face.
And how are you handling, like personally, like at your home, neighborhood? How are you dealing? Like we had so many different reports here of people that they can practice. Oh no, I'm depressed. I can't do anything. So
I think it's been very hard for me. I would say I would have been in the depressed side. My father is very elderly, and he moved in with me at the beginning of the pandemic, and then he was extremely ill. So it has been life-changing for me.
Well, yeah, it's this is a difficult thing. I didn't have an experience like that, like in my family, because of COVID, but more and more things are getting closer.
Yeah.
it's a parent of a friend, if it's a son of a friend, it's a neighbor. It's getting closer, and
Yeah.
what helps me is that I talk to a friend every day.
Hmm.
And
That's great. I feel like I am just here with my father, and this gets kind of alone. But at least I'm practicing again. When he was very ill, I stopped practicing. But another pianist friend was very encouraging. And so because of her, I learned Chopin First Ballade.
ah,
So this is good. And now I have a concert in a couple of weeks and things are better. But at first it was very difficult, the big shock in my life, the care of my very elderly father and the illness. And without practicing, I don't have my support, but I couldn't practice because I was too stressed. So now things are much better. And having teaching again, this is great, right? It was
yeah,
over the summer, no classes, no nothing. And so
mhm,
the contact with other people wasn't as much. So
I see.
now I have virtual cocktails with my friends sometimes. This is very helpful.
It's nice, isn't it? I have not too many. I thought I would have more of these, but maybe because I'm talking every day with someone, it's a I'm not missing that much. But we
Uh-huh.
had a few of the Zoom parties and
Hmm.
other types of apps that I've learned. No,
Yeah.
you know, download this or download that. I just don't ask anymore. Okay, I download. And we chat a little. But I did have hard times at the beginning. In April, I was a little. Um, I felt the thing in April.
Yeah.
After about 30 days, the thing started,
Hmm.
and I said, this 40 days, this quarantine is not 40 days. It's like gonna be a long time. And then I stopped doing exercising because
Uh-huh.
the first month I did exercise in the house, clean up everything in the living room, and put on something on YouTube and go. So after 30 days, I was like, this is boring, and I stopped and I didn't do anything for 5 months,
Uh-huh.
and I just returned to
I
3 weeks.
understand. For me, the first 30 days were okay. I love to cook, so I cooked all of these fancy recipes, and my partner was here, so everything was great. I was taking care of my dad. He wasn't sick yet. So the first 30 days were fine. And then my father started to get sick and cooking was no longer fun, right? I was at the hospital all the time. And so that's when I didn't practice for 5 weeks. And then in July, life started coming back again.
That's good. Good to
Oh,
hear. Yeah, am I mistaken on you had plans of coming here this year?
yes, I was supposed to be on sabbatical at UFJ starting this coming March, but I postponed it just because of COVID in the United States and Brazil,
Yeah.
right? Two of the hardest hit countries. And so it just doesn't feel like the right time to go. And also now I have the care of my father until he dies, I think. So I will hopefully come to UFJ in 2022. That's my plan.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it would be great. And then we even talked about teaching a class together, doing
yeah,
something
so I
together.
would love it. I feel like I have such connections with the faculty at UFJ, and so it's why I chose to come there.
Yeah, everybody loves you, and what
Yeah.
not to love about it? It's so when you're here,
So
all the students and everybody was enjoying so much. So Andre Lopez is watching. Hi, Andre. And I was gonna say, uh, so now that you back to your practice, what you working on from your performance? Like I know you had Chopin, but and what are you thinking of playing?
so I'm trying to think of the Chopin I played because it was on what we call our bucket list, something I wanted to play before I died. And
Oh,
I will also play Tombeau de Couperin, Ravel, because
oh,
this is on my list to play before I die. But before I decided I needed something to pull me out of my depression with playing, I was working on my program I want to play in Brazil. I want to play a bunch of American works just to kind of share, try to play things that are a little less common.
hmm
George Walker, he's an African American composer. He died a few years ago. He was a great pianist, and he has a lot of piano works. Some works by women composers, but I wanted to bring some American pieces that are not as
His
well known.
face, I missed his name.
George Walker.
Oh, okay. Okay.
George Walker.
Mhm.
So anyway, so I'm planning this program to bring to Brazil.
Wow, nice.
Yes,
That,
so I want to do that.
that's the time I think we expect, right? When you come to another country, every time I go, I travel, people want to hear Brazilian music.
Yes.
Because, I'm from Brazil, they want to hear Brazilian music. And I'm like, wow, I at the beginning I was thinking, I don't have to play Brazilian music because I'm Brazilian.
Right.
But then I realized that there was the type of thing that I like it most,
Uh-huh.
playing.
Well,
That is,
the crazy thing for me is I would rather be playing Brazilian music. You know, I'm crazy about Brazilian music. And this is what I want to play. It makes me so happy. And the more I learn, the more I like it. But I was talking to some of my Brazilian friends in Goiânia, and they think I should play some American music.
yeah, because that's the thing we don't know.
Right. So I'm trying to play some American music for you guys, but when I am there, I want to play Brazilian music all the
Sure.
time.
It's a deal. We can exchange.
Yes. So I will come, and at the beginning, I will play some interesting American piano music.
Good, good.
Yeah.
And it's a so huge, um, how I say, it's a large amount of a variety of compositions, type of compositions. It's when you
Yes.
talk about nationality, generally people think about a nationalism, but
Mhm.
it's not like that. We have composers in Brazil and states and everywhere that makes all sorts of different styles of composition.
Yeah. The thing
And
that fascinated me most when I first started coming to Brazil in 2008 was the huge breadth of the repertoire of Brazilian composers. So I think as Americans, we just don't know anybody except the kind of Villa Lobos, right? Everybody knows maybe Claudio Santoro, but there's such a breadth of composers, and I'm really was thrilled, and I felt sort of ignorant that I didn't know. So once I knew, I tried to play many things, and Kiki Oswald, lots of things. And so that's what I'm crazy about right now. Crazy
and
about Brazilian
especially for
music.
the piano, it's such a huge repertoire for the piano.
Yeah, and it needs to be known. So
Mhm.
after I come and I play my American music for you, I will come back and play another Brazilian program in the United States. I've already played, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours worth of Brazilian music here, but I want to play some more music and bring some of my Brazilian friends back to the
Yeah,
University of Wyoming.
and it's that's a huge contribution you're gonna take back to your university also, because if you're here, I believe when you return, so your colleagues is like, well, what did you do there?
Yeah.
What did you learn there? So that's generally what I have, what I hear from my friends when I travel and I stay outside of the country, and say, wow, what did you do? What's new? And
Yeah.
if I come back and play Brazilian music, they're gonna say, and I've done that, traveling, playing Brazilian music. When I came back, I said, well, this is what I played. I said, wow, but this we know,
Yeah.
it's not for you.
So
Or it is, because it's all music at the end.
yes, it is. But I'm also hoping to make a class about Brazilian music for graduate students, because it's shocking to me how little of the canon of Brazilian music is known to Americans. And so I'm hoping to, get the greatest hits of Brazilian music with input from all my friends at UFJ and make a class to really show what you think are the important works historically in the Brazilian classical genre.
And now, we have this facility of being connected. Before we had to find a grant to buy a ticket
Mm-hmm.
and to pay for housing, and not that this is not important, because it's totally different. You can actually, exchange, interact in person. But it's also good that we can do some interaction, without necessarily having to have a grant for that.
Yeah, this is true. And so now when I teach this class for graduate students, I could actually have like you come and be a guest lecturer and talk about whatever you want to talk about without having to come up with thousands of dollars to bring you. This is true. This is a great thing.
And my hi Reginaldo, that is here watching us, and Helbert Fernandes, welcome. We have this every other year. We have the International Society of Bassists meeting, and this 2021 it's going to be in Nebraska, and they're hoping that's going to be June, and they're hoping they're going to have both presential and remote concerts and lectures. Not sure, but the plan is to be there.
Good.
First week of June.
That's great.
If both our presidents get in some sort of agreement.
Oh, I think our presidents already are in agreement.
Yeah, they're both stupid.
Yes, so let's not go there. I agree, man.
It's nonsense. Yeah. It's hard to think that we did this. We did as a country.
Yeah.
We empoderated somehow. We empowered these guys.
Yes,
it now is. We gotta deal with.
It's shocking.
So. Hi, Reginaldo.
Yeah.
And Neri Borges is also watching us. Good. So we have more to chat, but I think we could go on and put the little the YouTube link a little bit so people can hear some of you playing, and then we come back and chat a bit before we finish. You wanna introduce us to what we're gonna hear?
Yeah, this is the Valsa #1, Valsa Brasileira #1 by Francisco Mignoni with Brazilian violas classicole. And I've been listening to this a lot during the pandemic. This is one of the most painfully beautiful pieces I know. And I really am a big fan of Mignoni in general. So I just thought I would share this with you guys because it's made me feel at peace.
Sure. Oops. Sure. Let's call it that it's our great colleague here from UNB. Very, very close to me, but we don't see each other in a long time. See? It's crazy. But anyway, I'm going to put this and then we come back. You're probably going to see both things. Like, this is Mignoni. Oops, sorry. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, it just reminds me of my Brazilian friends. I miss you guys so much. You know, I usually spend a couple of months in Brazil every year, and this has just changed that.
Yeah, and it's thank you, Reginaldo. It is beautiful. It's beautiful music, very well played also, and it makes us think about so many things that we're not able to do, but also to give it works to give value to the great things we know we are able to do.
Right, right. And that we will do again, right? That's the thing, is
And
that
we
we
will
need
do
to
it
feel like
again.
we can.
That's for sure. That's Professor Claudia Zanini, and our colleague here too. It
So
is,
I miss the connection with my Brazilian musician friends. I really do.
and we miss you because Carlos and I talked the other day here about the plans we had uh, for you being here to work with the chamber music. Let's play this, let's play that, and I said, Carlos, we have to postpone everything, but
Yeah.
it's going to happen. And the difficulties we're going through, some more, some less. It's gonna go. It's gonna pass, and we're strong enough as it's in our humanity. We were created to survive,
Yeah,
and
this is true.
we have this skill to we're gonna suffer what we're gonna suffer, and we're gonna overcome. And there were moments in my life, for instance, the moment I lost my parents, that I thought that I would never feel happy again. And I can tell you this: I had this. I was certain that I was never be able to be happy when my mom died, and I was 21.
Whoa, that's
And I
hard.
thought, there's no life it's not possible to live without a mother. How are we gonna live without a mother?
Right.
And you know, I don't know how, but it is possible, and we find a way of being happy in a different way. And I think most of it is in our relationship with two things: friends and music.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's what we have. So, we have a friend here. So,
Thanks. I didn't realize I missed you guys so much, but I do. I miss Brazil.
well, we're gonna hope I hope deeply that we can see each other soon and if things go in a better way possible to your father.
Me too. Hopefully in 2022 I will be there, okay?
Okay. And please stay well.
You too.
Find a
You
way
too.
inside your heart to take us with you in your heart. And
I will. You too. And no, I'm sending hugs.
I love you.
Love you too. Abraços para
Yeah.
todos. Okay.
Tchau, gente. Até
Ciao.
amanhã. Beijo, querida.